Hey you guys, it's Britt. Today we're here to react to a recent small video that came out on channel name is Truly. They have almost 10 million subscribers and they featured Jonathan and Anna, Sacconejoly'S, the family vlogging channel. And specifically, I had issue with this video for, I think, the same reason that a lot of people have issue with their recent content, and that is because they are utilizing one of their children for a new avenue of content. And I think that we all know what we're talking about here when it comes to Edie. So either way, if you're interested in hearing my thoughts, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so this video does have almost 57,000 views. And as I said, as we go through this video, keep in mind that Jonathan and Anna were okay and they gave consent for their children to be opened up to an audience of almost 10 million people, all for the sake of this video. So to me, that says a lot as far as their lack of protection, the lack of privacy, all of the things that we've kind of hit on before. And I just wanted to mention that early on. But either way, before I babble for too long, let's get into it.
Edie was born Eduardo. She was born male. She has always been more attracted to stereotypical girl toys or girl things. Ever since she could basically dress herself, she wanted to wear.
Okay, so this is something that I've hit on before, but when we're talking about kids who are interested in wearing a dress or playing with a Barbie doll, or if we're talking about a little girl who might be a tomboy or into, I don't know, wearing, boy clothing, and yes, I'm using air quotes if you're listening only. This is just something that I've always had an issue with. Like, why not just focus on allowing the child to live out their childhood, and then let's focus on these bigger items down the road, offline. It's not for content still, but these are really big decisions to, I'm not saying that they made the decision for their kid, but what I do think is there was a lot of coaching and maybe some mild manipulation that was involved here. And again, that's just my opinion, so I have to say allegedly. But I don't believe that a child that is, 8 years old is able to make these kinds of decisions and say, I am going to do this. I'm going to change my name. I'm going to do this. I think that kids just want to have fun, and they might see a sibling wearing something, so they want to wear it. They want to copycat. They look up to their older siblings. A lot of times they'll, play with toys that belong to the other siblings. I just don't understand why all of these permanent decisions are being made for a child. When you're that young, you're trying to have a good childhood, you're trying to make friends at school, you're trying to deal with some of your emotions that are starting to kind of ramp up as you get a little bit older. And I think that support and privacy are the two biggest things that someone can give their child or children that are in such a young age, instead of saying, oh, you like to wear dresses, so you're trans. That to me just doesn't calculate. And again, that's just my opinion.
She wanted to wear dress-up dresses, which I completely embraced because I just felt like that was normal.
Is this what you've chosen to wear today, Eduardo?
Yeah. I remember she said, just so innocently, I can't wait to go to reception because then I can wear the dress like Amelia. And I remember thinking, oh God, what do I say in this situation? She's not going to wear a dress, she's a boy. So this picture here is of Edie when she was Eduardo.
A lot of times what happens is you have a younger sibling, like I said, that just looks up to the older sibling. So you might have a little brother that has an older sister, and they see the older sister come out in this really pretty dress, and it's just something that maybe they don't wear that often. Maybe it's something that they've never seen before, and it captures their attention. They're enamored by the visual display that they're seeing, and they're interested. They're not necessarily, trans because they're interested in wanting to wear this piece of clothing that they saw their older sibling in. And again, as always during this video, I'm coming to you guys with an open eyes and open ears. And I want this to be a conversation with you guys because I don't have anyone in my family or in my very small friend circle that is trans. But I think some of this stuff is just common knowledge. If you've been around kids, or you remember a lot of your childhood, I'm sure that a lot of us had moments where we saw another child, even if it was a friend, wear something and it's like, well, I want to wear that too. Why can't I wear that? Um, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're trans or non-binary or anything like that. You're just a kid that is interested in something else that someone is either wearing or participating in or saying or doing, and sometimes it's just as simple as that.
And she would often, like we said, dress up in Amelia's little costumes. So she's in a Little Mermaid costume, and she was about, I would say, 3 there, probably Andrea's age. And then beside it is an image of her on her birthday, her most recent birthday, so her 8th birthday, which was a mermaid theme. So she's like...
Yeah, so 8-year-old child, that's what I thought. Here's the thing. I want to talk about fan pages for just a couple of seconds. I initially, when I saw this screen grab, I thought that it was Anna liking her own Instagram post, and I kind of giggled at it, whatever. But I actually noticed that it's a fan page. So I went over to that fan page to see what they have going on over there. What's the deal? And not only do Jonathan and Anna both follow it, so in my opinion, they are feeding the inappropriate relationship that this person has built with their family, specifically their children. But I want to talk about the photos that are being published to this Instagram account. This person has built this fan page and has shared all kinds of photos of the children of Jonathan and Anna, anywhere from newborn to more recent stuff. They do a lot of like age progression photos from birthday parties. They have photos of the kids in bathing suits, and they have photos of Edie in crop top and tight pants. So here's the way that I look at fan pages. I understand that you might connect with channel that you watch on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. If you are okay with going around and screenshotting other people's children to put onto this fan page Instagram account, I think that's creepy and weird. That's my opinion. I don't understand why you would even ever want images of someone else's children on your phone. To finish out my thoughts on this entire debacle, I also want to say that by Jonathan and Anna following and liking these posts, they are co-signing to say, we are cool with you sharing images of our kids. We are cool with this fan page that is adding to the exploitation of the kids that, yes, Jonathan and Anna started, but this fan page is further spreading these images deeper and deeper and deeper into the internet. And giving weirdos more access to it. Not saying that they should be to blame, but they are absolutely contributing to the exploitation of these kids. And all because you really like Jonathan and Anna? That to me is very weird, and this person and anyone else who runs a fan page has inappropriate parasocial relationships with these families. Cole and Sal LeBrant just welcomed their new daughter to the world about 2-3 weeks ago, maybe. You know, that little girl already has fan pages on Instagram showing her photos, showing little clips that the LeBrants have uploaded. The child is not even a month old and is already having her name and her image shared on Instagram. Not only because of her parents, but because of other weirdos who have opened fan pages.
Living her best life now, but it's so funny to look back and see how that was her all along. We just didn't realize it.
Welcome to my room. My name's Edie and I'm 8.
When did you learn what transgender was?
The media told me. She said that I was transgender and I asked her.
So we have one child telling the other child what's happening. I thought that Jonathan and Anna were so involved and so in tune with what was going on with their kids that they knew exactly what was going on. We heard Anna just say that she knew from such a young age what was happening, and this is, how everything unfolded. But then we have a child saying that their older sibling is the one that told them that they're trans. So to me, this seems like kind of like a broken line of communication and conversations happening between children that should be happening between the parents and the child actually going through these emotions.
What that means is, she said, that means you're half boy and half girl. And I said, okay. I think I'm mostly a girl.
We hit lockdown, and that was when she decided that she wanted to start wearing girl clothes outside of the house. And then by the time she went back to school and schools reopened again, she fully decided, because we were a bit apprehensive at the beginning.
And I also want to say that during this little video, they're also allowing the child to wear a crop top and tight pants. And this to me is just, again, Jonathan and Anna co-signing that they are okay with not only opening up their children to these potential 10 million people that are subscribed to this channel, all for the sake of income and new potential followers or subscribers, but they're also okay with putting one of their children in front of the camera in revealing clothing, which I think says a lot for their very obvious lack of morals that have been displayed for a long period of time now.
That she wanted to wear the girl uniform. I was terrified, but I remember when I picked her up from school that first day, I said, so how did it go with the dress? And she kind of looked down and she was like, oh, I forgot I was even wearing it. And I was like, oh, how great of an experience.
That is a great experience, Anna, and none of it belongs on the internet. And I'm so tired of hearing the awareness argument from family vloggers and influencers that are showing their kids. They will veil everything as awareness. And while I think that finding people that might be going through the same things that you're going through at a certain point in time can be really helpful, there's no reason why this should have been put out onto such a public stage at such a young age for the child. It should have been protected, and even when the child turns 16, 17, 18, or never, they can come to their own platform and say, this is my story, this is how I feel, and I'm fully up to date on what the internet is, the fact that I might get negative comments, the fact that not everyone's going to welcome my story with open arms, and I'm giving full consent to all of those things, and here it is. Or, like I said, I think a lot of these family vlogging kids, we might see the complete opposite, where they completely leave social media because their entire childhood was exploited and spread, and fan pages and toxic parasocial relationships and adults being obsessed with kids and all of the bad things. So it could go one of two ways, but no matter which way it goes, it should be up to that child to say, I'm ready to share my story, or I'm leaving the internet forever.
But it was probably a few months ago that she decided to change her name.
Hi, I'm Edie.
In my opinion, I don't think that a child is going to just come out of the woodwork one day and say, I'm going to change my name. Because most kids don't realize that you can just change your name. So what I think happened was the idea was introduced by either Jonathan or Anna, probably Jonathan, just to say, oh, do you like your name? Do you not like it? These are the things that we can do. I just don't think that a 7 or 8-year-old is going to even comprehend or understand that people can change their names without there being a little bit of coaching, a little bit of manipulation, or bare minimum having the concept introduced by a parent or another adult in their life.
Some people say you're not allowed to change your name, you're too young. I've heard people say that before. It doesn't make me very happy, but I try to ignore them.
The internet has opened her.
Why are they even telling her about comments from people saying, oh, you can't change your name? This goes back to the protection point of this conversation, is if protection was, really something that was important, and we're going to shield our kids from the toxic side of the internet, then why does a child even know that people are saying, oh, you're too young to change your name? Don't even involve your children in comments or conversations like that. It's bad enough the kids are online, obviously, but to further kind of fill them in on bad comments, even though Anna says that the internet's make-believe and nobody matters and everyone's just hating, why are you even opening your kids up to that side of the internet?
Her eyes to the fact that there are a lot more little girls out there like her.
Once I was watching TikTok and I saw a mum and a little boy, and he looked like a boy, but she was explaining how he wanted to be a girl.
We started making TikTok videos and we started like sharing more because she was so unhappy and she had no role models. So I was like, right, we're gonna create that representation. We're gonna show.
He can say that it's representation till he's blue in the face. To me, this was their way of trying to revive a dead YouTube channel. And this was Jonathan's way of trying to repair his broken childhood by showing all of this to the internet by using his child. All of this should be therapy, handled behind closed doors, the kids not being shown. All of it just has red flags from the very beginning. Jonathan and Anna could have made the decision years ago to say, you know what, we're taking our kids offline, and if you guys want to stick it out with us and watch our life grow and change, and we'll still share parenting stuff sporadically, ups and downs and all of that, people would have respected them. But the reason that they didn't is because they knew that people would leave their channel and they would lose out on money, because again, everything comes down to money with influencers, whether they're family vloggers or other types of influencers. It doesn't matter. It's all about the income. And if you're willing to sacrifice your children's privacy for money or subscribers, you have a problem on your hands. That's my opinion. If people are willing to literally vacate your channel because you're not showing your kids, those are probably people that you don't want anywhere near your channel or your presence anyway. But if you have no moral code and you're just thirsty for attention and money, then obviously you will sacrifice your kids to keep the content going. And this just gave them a new avenue and a new side or a new story or a new series that they could share and monetize. And that's exactly what they've done. Who pays at the end of the day? It's the kids.
The world that just because you're at the time a boy who chooses to express yourself as a girl, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad thing.
Most of the negativity has come from online, which I don't really view as real because it's not said to your face, it's different. And we're quite used to that. But I guess a lot of the things that we've been told are that Jonathan has forced Edie to decide to be a girl, or that.
I can't speak for everyone, but I will say I don't think that it's just as simple as, oh, he's forcing it. I think that it's been utilized as a way to make new content and connect with a new audience when their old audience had either checked out or they were tired of, whatever they were doing. They were no longer interested. So Jonathan knew that he needed to open them up to a brand new audience, and therefore he utilized one of his children to do so. Do I think that there's been some coaching and some manipulation and some little hints dropped along the way to change how the child thinks? I do. But I just don't think it's as simple as, oh, he's forcing it, that's it, end of conversation.
We're trying to get her to do that to somehow gain fame or notoriety in some way.
All right. Let's do this. With Edie's situation, it's like, because of my experience in life, I now am a non-binary person. I feel like, okay, I have an opportunity.
So 2 things. Again, I will repeat what I said earlier. I think that Jonathan is trying to heal his broken childhood by everything that he's doing on social media on a very public platform. And I think that we can see that. When you hear him talk about his childhood and then you see what he's doing now, it's very clear that unfortunately, his children are props in what he's trying to repair, and it just so happens that it's paying him a lot of money to do so.
Like I wish someone had done for me. I grew up in the conservative country of Ireland, and even at 3 years old, I knew I was not a cisgendered normal person. I felt different, I felt other. And there was no way anyone was going to kind of accept me for the way I was. It's only in the last few years, I sort of took the time during the pandemic, and then I decided I would write my book and tell my story, because Edie was strong enough and brave enough to tell her story. It took, 40 years for me to kind of, come full circle with myself. But for all of my children, that they have a good life and they are happy and they make the decisions that they want to make.
I'm a girl!
If Edie at 15 turned around to us and decided she wanted to be Eduardo again, I'd be like, sure. But now you've shown the other 3 siblings and yourself that no matter who you are, your parents are going to love you.
If Edie came to him and said, okay, game over, I'm done with this, whatever, I personally don't think that that would be accepted with open arms without a few conversations being had behind closed doors. And that's just my opinion based off of their personas, their lack of morals. I just don't think that it would be, pop the champagne and get the balloons out. There would be a little bit of manipulation happening to try to keep this going, because again, he's looking at this as a way to revive their online presence. It's getting a brand new audience with eyes on their channel. In turn, it's paying them and keeping their careers as family vloggers somewhat alive. It's not completely dead in the water. But if it wasn't for this entire situation with Edie and with Jonathan being non-binary, and he can share all of that, the non-binary stuff, I think that's awesome. If that's what you want to use your platform for and you feel comfortable sharing that, you are a grown adult and you can consent to all of this, but leave your kids out of it. All of this should have been veiled with protection, privacy, respect, just all of the things, so that it wasn't being played out on a public stage. Knowing the toxicity and the hateful people that can live online, why would you ever open your children up to that? That's what I constantly go back to. I constantly think, if you're an influencer, you're fully well aware of how dark the internet can be some days. People are miserable, people are hateful, and people will say things that they would never say to you in real life. So why on earth would you open that door for your kids and allow them to be props, on this show that you're trying to create, all for the sake of money? So either way, that's the end of their little video. I hope that this video wasn't too long or too rambly. I tried to, hit the high points and not be super repetitive. But again, like I said earlier, I'm coming to you guys with open eyes and open ears. I want this to be a conversation, and I enjoy when you guys educate me, because y'all know much more than I do, and I'd love to know what you think about this. What do you think about them taking it to this much larger channel and exposing their kids to potentially 10 million people? Luckily, this video didn't get a ton of views, but it's also staying up. It's not like it's going to go away. But either way, leave all your thoughts down below. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.